it's kind of hard to do a 3-man, show when somebody is not even. Oh man, I guess he decided to do laundry right then and there. The chat room is already going. Coming to America 3 WWE edition. I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, I'm just happy that Denzel DeJournette got a chance and an opportunity to be on the main show.
Well, I'm just happy that the thumbnail you chose today wasn't what I thought would have been Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso in the submission hold to win the cage match.
Nah.
Like many other channels did. You maintained the theme of the week of thumbnails across the channel. So we had Bobby Lashley on Tuesday. We had Shaq and Jade on Thursday. And now we have... I don't know. He's not the king of Nigeria.
He's a prince, apparently.
Nigerian royalty.
I mean, technically, Apollo may be playing the main lead character from the Coming to America sequel that happened. Like, he's a prince, that he was in America, and now he's back to take his kingdom, and he went to NXT, found Denzel DeJournette, and things happened. That's what I think happened.
Well, I almost believe that now would be the time they go employ Prince Nana.
I mean, why not? You have to find another prince for him to feud with. I don't think Marcus is going to make it for the opening of the show, Betty, because you know what? It just because to break his streak, I'm going to start the show right now. That's just because that's who I am. Welcome everybody to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. And no, I could not hear you the whole time because I had actually had your channel muted and I had my channel muted just so the music could play and everyone can hear the docile sounds. But Marcus, you might be here, but you're just a ghost because all we see is your digital office and you have a nice coffee maker in the back. Or is that a toaster?
Surprise, surprise. I don't know. But I've been here the whole time doing the entire code open, Jack.
Well, I'm glad you were just being quiet.
Okay. Yeah, I came back right away.
Oh.
Well, how difficult was it for you to stand there being quiet?
It wasn't that difficult at all.
I mean, you could have.
It wasn't that difficult at all.
I mean, Manny pointed out that I kept the theme going of a black person being featured in the thumbnail for the week of the show. So, I mean, I guess that is the theme of the longest running African-American wrestling podcast in history. In history, damn it. In history.
Hold on, Eric. I and Marcus the Gun Finale. Huh? You like that, huh?
No, I don't.
Huh?
I'm not even going to try and correct your accent because it'll just end badly for me.
Now have an accent of indistinguishable accent.
First of all, you may have this accent, but if you can't say the words right, you're screwed.
I said indistinguishable accent.
And where do you hail from, Mr. Grand Finale?
Hell.
Really? Really?
Given that wording is not your strong point, should you really be calling him out on not being able to pronounce words?
I have not messed up on a word yet on this episode. I will do as I please.
Apparently you sound more Indian, according to Lucha Talk.
Mystery known, okay? Mystery known on where this accent be coming from.
Look at me.
No, it sounded like you was a Jamaican. I don't know what that was.
You don't worry about what my accent is, baby. Don't worry, baby.
He didn't even say any words, man. He didn't even say any words right there. Wow. We need to, Marcus, you need to realize we need to stay in our lane. We all know who of the trio is the best at doing accents, and that is Ryan. Because my accent, although in my head, it's from someplace different, it's all the same version of an accent.
Come on, Eric. What's your African accent? Bring it out.
I don't have it, Marcus.
Bring it out.
I don't have one. I don't
Nigeria
have one.
root.
I don't
Bring
have
it
one.
out, brother. Bring it out.
Marcus, according to my test, I am not from Nigeria. I'm from Morocco and up into the northern part of Africa. That's where my genetics come from.
I want to hear that northerners from the north.
I don't have it, sir. I don't have it.
Excuse me, sir. My name is...
Wow.
Excuse me, sir. Please.
Wow.
This is the way I talk.
Wow.
Manny, do you have a Nigerian accent?
Manny?
I probably do that. I would do in closed doors, but I'm never going to do it on stream because this is just a career suicide.
So what you trying to say, man? You say the N-word behind closed doors? Is that what you saying?
I don't.
You don't have to say the
Nigerians don't always have to say the N-word. They may say the N-word of being I am Nigerian.
So first of all, Manny, don't you get close to your camera on me, because that's literally like someone getting attitude with you over or type.
Eric,
You done turned the red lights on.
Oh my God.
Oh, look, you know what? I gotta get my gun. Shit.
Gun.
I'll shoot Manny.
His gun is a cucumber wrapped up in a black Binberg.
I don't even know what that means. But with that being said, I think it's how the fuck is everybody doing today? Marcus, how are you doing?
I am amazing. I am ecstatic to be here, and you know what? I can't wait to do a show today. And I'm not saying this at gunpoint at all. I am okay.
Manny, what about yourself? But
we've had some great shows this week. We've had restaurant quality picture-in-picture this week. If you've watched the show, you know what we're talking about.
Like I said, for all the listeners who listen to the podcast only, or to the people who or the few 30 people that tune into the live stream of the recording of this show, you guys really have to check out what Marcus and Manny are doing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They are raising the bar of what our little video live stream podcast is. So much great content is coming across the network.
Well, Eric, you set the bar so low, it's quite easy to jump over.
Hey, man, you know what? My life I live. I don't want to be the worst, don't want to be the best. I just want to be in between. I'm pretty sure there's some worse people out there than me.
I've pinned it in the chat, but if you want to be part of Marcus,
that was Manny's black accent right there.
Eric, Marcus's run and gun review show about the exploding barbed wire deathmatch on Sunday. Email the sharpshooters@gmail.com. We're recording on Monday and Tuesday, so let us know if you want to take part in that.
I'll do it.
You're already doing it.
Oh, I didn't know I was official, so I just need somebody to send me the script of what I need to do, what my rules and regulations are. Anyway,
I guess I can see some rules. You know what the rules are.
I don't remember any of the rules, man.
We have changed them up a bit.
Yes.
You're Mr. I know the rules. You're Mr. I know the rules.
Yeah, but I can't know the rules if I've never been provided with the rules. And why do you have to bring up what happened 2 years ago when we went to the very first AEW show in Las Vegas, where I almost lost my gasket for a product that I tend to dislike for most times? Man.
Dislike?
Dislike?
Yes,
dislike? It is. Are we really using dislike?
It is a dislike. It is a dislike.
I feel like you're in low.
I feel like you drove past the realms of dislike.
Hey, I enjoyed the first 20 minutes of AEW this week. I did. I enjoyed the spectacle. And we will talk about that last, because we need to talk about finally, the almighty era has taken over WWE. Bobby Lashley cashed in and became the new WWE champion, the third black champion in the history of the black WWE champion in the history of WWE. Marcus, how did you feel when Bobby was able to grab that brass ring and actually
black belt?
I know I messed. That's my accent. My accent is to mess up with words. Marcus, how did you feel when Bobby was able to reach that mountaintop?
Well, you know, throughout the show, you get this feeling that it wasn't going to happen. It might not happen, not tonight. And then you have to feel the previous week when they built it up, and when he was holding that title, it was like, this may not happen. We may have to wait till Fastlane or something. You may have to see it on a peacock or some kind. But when it happened, I went, oh shit, it happened. He looked like the dominant champion he's always supposed to have been in the WWE. All these years of doing basically nothing his entire career. Just middle of the road. As Manny said, there's not one memorable Bobby Lashley thing ever other than that time he was in the ring with Donald J. Trump. So this has been something. This was a moment in time, and I was really happy for Bobby Lashley. And more importantly, I was happy for the Hurt Business and MVP than Bobby Lashley because, they talked him into that title.
Manny, I'm going to ask you a different question because the build-up for Bobby Lashley to get the championship, I think a lot of credit needs to go to The Miz. I think The Miz played a great role of being a cowardly heel, from his lower region hurting to him running from the match to him trying to do everything to get out of the match. That made it so much more when Bobby got the championship. How do you feel that The Miz's role in the match played out?
He did do a really good role, but I feel like it should have been extended. Like, all those things shouldn't have happened on one night. Like, they could have been drawn out just to get the ultimate angry Bobby Lashley. But it almost, like, you're gonna get this question now of The Miz. He's obviously a transitional champion, obviously, but and then people are gonna say, did that diminish the actual prestige of that belt? Like, everyone talks about, when people start talking about prestige of belt, I feel like that moment in time shouldn't have happened. Like, I feel like they should have drawn it out and had it like a proper match, not this 2-second squash match that happened, essentially.
Well, I think my argument that I can have for why that doesn't really apply is because, once again, Miz obtained the championship by Money in the Bank standards, where he went and he accomplished the title after the Elimination Chamber when Drew was dead, and then even after Bobby Lashley destroyed Drew McIntyre. I think the true testament of how serious they are about the Almighty era is when he actually goes and faces Drew, because I'm assuming the attack that Bobby did on Drew is what will lead to the WrestleMania match between Drew and Bobby Lashley. Marcus, turning back to that, do you think that is the match that can really headline WrestleMania for the WWE title?
Hold on, let me yell at my co-host for a minute about drawing this out.
Okay.
I don't know if you were online when this was happening, Manny, because I wasn't online during the whole thing. I called the next morning, half was awake, and then after I wanted to see the reactions right after the match. The reactions right after every stalling of that, the fans were just pissed off and seemed to be angry in the WWE community. It's like, oh, they're screwing this last thing, this and this, and they're drawing this out. Like, the patience of wrestling fans do not exist anymore for stuff like that, I don't think. And I'm not saying it was wrong that you're wrong. I'm just saying the patience of a wrestling fan does not exist.
Well, I think it's because it's Bobby Lashley. Like, if it was anyone else, like if it was Drew, I think people wouldn't have minded if it was drawn out. I think because Bobby Lashley, like I've said it before, has literally done nothing memorable other than his TNA run, which some people may have seen. I didn't.
May have seen on national television.
Yeah.
May have seen on a pop network.
Yeah, but like anything he's done in WWE was irrelevant until I would say now.
But
because
now,
that Trump thing is the only thing of relevancy. You can honestly look back and go, okay, he did that. There's nothing else in his career you can say in WWE.
I like the Umaga feud. The Umaga feud was good.
But to what Manny is saying, there is some truth to that, but I can also argue that the former WWE champion, and I'm not talking about The Miz, but I'm talking about Drew McIntyre, his stint in WWE, he did nothing memorable till he came back from NXT. He kind of had the same packaging that Bobby Lashley had right now. And I think this is the best Bobby Lashley we've seen since MVP has showed up and founded the Hurt Business. And this is where it kind of concerns me because, you know, at Revolution, they announced this week at AEW that they have 2 signings that they're bringing in and whatnot and all that good stuff. There's a part of me that wouldn't mind that signing being Brock Lesnar so we can give Bobby Lashley the opportunity to see if he can be a champion in WWE and carry that title longer than what is expected.
You don't think it's going to be a Fiend run?
I don't know.
The Fiend won it at Elimination Chamber, and then he went to go fight Randy Orton or whoever, and he lost it then. You think it's one of those? Because the part of this title run that's going to upset me is that if it's not of length or if it's treated just like the way Kofi Kingston was treated, in which he has a title, he lost the title, we never see him at the title again. And they could go that route, but I would like to see him be a dominant champion for at least a period of time.
Marcus.
And I know WrestleMania is coming up, but I would like to see him retain at WrestleMania, but I don't think that's happening.
I'm going to ask you this question. Coffee, after he won the title, he had a 6-month run when he was actually a strong champion. He fought everybody. He beat a lot of people. And then, of course, he ran into Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, and we know how that ended.
It was Thanos stuff. It was like they snapped, and he never went for that title again.
But the thing is, Kofi doesn't have the stature of Bobby Lashley. Look at Bobby Lashley.
That's true.
He's a monster. He's built. He's everything. Kofi Kingston is I look at him. He's just a dad.
Yeah, yeah. And on top of that, Kofi has the weirdest chest in the game. Everyone talks about how his chest just caved in.
There is no chest. There is no chest.
But the thing
but back to your original question, would I want to see Bobby and Drew at WrestleMania? I kind of don't.
I don't.
I think we got it last year at I want to say Backlash. It was a really good match. This time it's for the title, but I don't feel like it's a WrestleMania match. Now, if he was able to fight Brock and Brock didn't take that AEW money, which is almost like Saudi money apparently at this point, then that would be the match for me. That would put my ass in the seat. Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar. They can do some fake MMA stuff, go like 2 minutes, and then excite the world because they're just two big dudes hitting each other. Meat on meat.
What about you, Manny? Do you agree with Marcus in that situation, the meat on meat situation?
Yeah, I think this is the match everyone really wants. It's Bobby Lashley, Brock. That's a money match. Not what we're getting tomorrow, which is Big Money Matt versus Hangman Page. That's not a money match.
And honestly, I think I may differ a little bit from you guys. I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Lashley have that coffee run where he's built as a champion, where he defends it for 6 months of dominating people, and then we have the Brock Lesnar match happen where he has a little bit more momentum, because the momentum that he has, he beat a true lesser champion in The Miz. We know The Miz was not a champion to hold the title for a long time, but as he put on his own Instagram, he's a champion to his kids. With that being said, like jumping right
in the week before though.
What?
He beat Strowman a week before. And
yeah, but
squash fashion.
Marcus, I think I could beat Strowman. I think I could.
No, you can't.
I think I could take those hands, man.
No, you can't.
See, Eric.
Luchador says Coffee got to put the kick pads back on to hide them chicken legs. I'm intrigued about where WWE goes with Bobby Lashley as a champion. I mean, they have a lot of big guys that he can actually fight. Keith Lee could job to about here and there. You still have the Drew McIntyre feud. You have a lot of opportunities, but I think the money match that should be worth someone's earnings would be the match between him and Brock Lesnar. So, with that being said, I want to jump to another title match that I was disappointed at with this week because I did not get a finish. However, I understand the finish that I got. We're talking about WWE NXT, a match that I could not wait. It was for the women's tag team title, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler going against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. I was ready to watch Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai walk away with the titles, but unfortunately, due to some shenanigans.
You really thought they were winning?
Can a man hope, Marcus? Can a man hope?
Man can hope, a man can dream, but a man can make sense. What makes sense is Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retaining those titles on that show.
Well, I'll get your opinion. I'm gonna get Manny's opinion first. Do you like
Ghost Manny?
Ghost Manny, do you like the way they handled that women tag teams title match on NXT this week?
I liked it. It was probably, as I told Marcus on Thursday, probably the best Nia Jax match ever.
What made that the best Nia Jax match, Manny? Because that is high praise coming from you. That's almost like Tamina winning a championship in Marcus' book, which you saying that Nia Jax had a great match.
Because there was investment in this match, because you kind of wanted Raquel and Dakota to overcome the odds. Well, Dakota to overcome the odds. I think Raquel can overcome the odds just on her own, just fine.
Dakota is all odds.
Yeah, I think there was just general, there wasn't much story going into it. There was some backstory, but you would only get that backstory if you were a proper wrestling fan. With Dakota being the weak individual she was against Shayna, many years ago. But yeah, there was a little bit stuff there, just like, can she do it? Will they do it? And then they pulled off the screw job, which, yeah, it was a bit disappointing, but now you got to wait for this Regal announcement, which is leading to the NXT women's tag titles, which I guess seems like a good thing, given that they've got all that women on that roster, but it's just another title. No. It's just another title on that roster that's just going to get all over the place.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want them to have an NXT women's title on the NXT show. I want the NXT champions, the women's tag team, to be able to travel to Raw, travel to SmackDown, and defend their title, to put more eyes on NXT. I will point out, Manny, Nia Jax did one spot, and I almost drove down to Florida because I thought they killed the precious Dakota Kai when she slammed her into the bottom underneath second turnbuckle, and I was livid, but I liked the spot too. Marcus, you were saying,
hold on. Before we move on, we need clarification about this. Why of all things that Nia Jax has done in her long history of career of injuring people with incidents, was Dakota Kai the final straw for you to drive down to Florida?
You're about to make a trip to Florida over behalf of Dakota Kai. Does your wife know you're doing this?
I don't know why Dakota Kai was the tipping point. I really don't. But for whatever reason, that move looked really unsafe. And the fact that they were able to execute it made me happy, but I was really upset about the attempt of that move because, Dakota Kai has one of the most fragile bodies next to Tegan Nox. Her and Tegan Nox must drink the same supplements because you never know how long Tegan Nox is going to be on camera when it comes to that. So, yeah, it just, I don't know. I thought what was really good for me about the match was the fact that they really wouldn't give us Nia Jax versus Raquel Gonzalez. They would get in and they got out really short and quick. Marcus, you were saying no as Manny was giving his analysis about that.
Was it?
I heard you saying no. Well, whatever.
Before we get Marcus' opinion on this match, Marcus, what Nia Jax incident would cause you to drive down? Because I'll give you mine after.
I know yours is Tony Storm, Manny. We all know it's Tony Storm.
No, it's not. What, Nia Jax injuring someone to cause you to drive down?
Well, I don't think there's nothing she can do to make me drive down because I appreciate Nia Jax injuring people as a heel. She made Becky. Becky's nothing without Nia.
If I could go back in time, I would try and prevent her injuring Kairi Sane because now I don't get recorder spots anymore.
Kairi was on her way out anyway, Manny. She was on her way out. She was leaving. I honestly allow Nia Jax to just do whatever she wants. She makes stars, all right? She makes sympathetic figures out of everybody.
She makes stars,
She made Becky Lynch. There is no man without Nia Jax breaking her face.
Mark, that is a fair point. I will give you that. That is a fair point. But
Kairi Sane, no one cared about Kairi Sane until Nia Jax beat her ass like 8 times.
So Marcus,
threw her to those steps.
If you say
threw her to the turnbuckle.
So how come that girl Dana Brooke ain't a star yet? Because she killed Dana Brooke, and Dana Brooke is still not a star.
Dana Brooke was back the next week.
Eric, sometimes there's exceptions to the rules, and Dana Brooke is an exception to this rule. And people in science may call it an anomaly.
So, Marcus, overall with that match.
It was a hard slam on Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke was still in the Rumble. Okay? She was okay. Nia Jax is not dangerous. That's a lie. Overall, though, I enjoyed this match.
El Luchador said Eric's going to drive down and then get injured by Nia. She's going to hurt Eric's hole.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, so Barry, what about the match that you enjoy?
I enjoyed that it was a match, that it was a women's tag match, that they had, it was just good. It was just entertaining overall. It was, they were very equal in teams. There were the 2 big ladies, and then there were the 2 smaller guys that do all the work.
Did you enjoy the fact that we didn't have to get an explanation of why Adam Pearce was there? Because at one point I was upset, but then I realized that Shayna and Nia are his employees of on Raw, so he might want to be there to witness if the title's going to change hands. Him sending out a Raw referee created controversy that didn't need to be there, but it did seem to piss Regal off, and I'm upset. Of all the places we have microphones at the NXT arena, we did not have a microphone to hear what Regal and Pierce was arguing about.
He was cussing about. There wasn't even a legal person you went out there. Yeah. It's not your jurisdiction. It's not your jurisdiction. I don't go on a Raw and just start throwing referees at people. You know what he was saying.
Yeah, I know what he was saying.
You sorry, motherfucker. You gonna come out here. What's next, Shane McMahon? Huh? You guys gonna screw Braun Strowman on this show? Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
All right. Moving on to the next big thing that happened, I think, this week in WWE. That was the main event for SmackDown. That was... I'm going to get him.
Can I pause for a minute?
Go ahead.
So the biggest thing that happened in WWE, Bobby Lashley win the championship. The second biggest thing, Dakota Kai and Nia Jacksonville. Is that the route you go?
I'm talking about championships, man. I talk about champions, man. And then after champions is the...
What about Miko Sakamura and Kaylee Ray?
Who?
Oh, you are rude. Get out of here. You host a wrestling podcast? How dare you?
Yeah. They may have had the match of the year on NXT UK this week.
I have not seen NXT UK, and no one had texted me, "Hey, Eric, you need to see this match."
What?
We should have to.
I've been reading books, man. I've been reading books.
Kaylee Ray is the greatest women's wrestler of our lifetime right now. She has the longest reign.
Oh, that's the women's NXT champion, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And she fought a 77-year-old woman who moves like Rey Mysterio in his prime, and kicks like Asuka.
So, Marcus, since you want to talk about this match, what did you enjoy so much about this match?
It was a 77-year-old woman versus a young lady, and they were fighting to the death for that title. They went like 30 minutes.
They refer to her as the final boss of the women's.
The final boss.
You know, at that
final boss. Not only that, in her intro, they call her the best in the world. And then before the build-up, they had Sasha Banks, Rhea Ripley, and I think Bayley conceding that Nakamura and Kaylee Ray are probably the best in the world right now.
I mean, the thing about that, though, is that, you know, you're kind of selling me. If your name is the final boss, that means that you got to be some type of powerful thing. You may be more powerful than a time machine, which is something that only few people have been able to achieve. But unfortunately, I have not seen that match, so I cannot talk about that match. But I can talk about Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan for the chance to see if Daniel Bryan will face Roman Reigns at Fastlane. True, Roman put a lot of pressure on Jey, saying that if he lost this match, he has let the family down. Marcus, Jey lost the match. How is that family dinner going to take place now, since Roman has to work at Fastlane where he didn't want to work at to begin with?
Well, Roman never wants to work. Like, that's his whole thing. Like, I got to work at, is a pay-per-view coming up? I don't have to work on that. Elimination Chamber? I don't want to work on that. Like, he only wants the main event WrestleMania, and that is his job. I enjoyed this match. I never thought Jey Uso stood a chance. I was disappointed Edge wasn't on the show in any type of way. They literally, this was all the SmackDown, basically. There was the 30 minutes that Daniel Bryan and Roman had at the beginning, and there was the 20 minutes that they had at the end, and in between their original. So I enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the storytelling. Daniel Bryan is a good fill-in fighter for Fastlane.
Manny, do you agree with Marcus' assessment about SmackDown and what the show really was? Just it wasn't much going on, just a little stuff here and there to get you to the next day.
Yeah, and they painted Edge to be a bitch. Like, the way Daniel Bryan was talking about it, like, he legit was a bitch. I feel like that could have been the direction they went with Cesaro. Like, when you go back and go, oh, Cesaro, like, when I said the assessment of the discussion of Cesaro not being buried at Elimination Chamber, like, if he wasn't working that program with Seth, I feel like they could have put him in this situation where, like, oh, the moment Edge came out, I was just like almost an afterthought, which is what the route Daniel Bryan went, and it was a really interesting route to go. Because I would have been mad. I would have been mad if I was in that situation of someone just running in and taking the spot now. Furious.
Start pointing at the side.
Yeah.
But I'm still in the ring. Okay? I'm still here. That is like your wife saying, hey, I want a divorce. Okay. He wanted to forward, and then the dude just walks in and takes him back into the room. Like, what the fuck?
So what you're talking about is too, like, let it marinate a little bit. It's just too quick for that to happen. I get what you're saying. You know, I was happy that they put, and this might be the most ridiculous thing for me to be happy about the main event. I was happy the fact that I got to see what Roman's chair looked like as a whole, and I realized looking at the bottom of his chair didn't look like the top of the chair. It still looks comfortable.
No, that's a different chair. That's a different chair.
That was a different chair.
Oh, okay.
That's the commentator's chair.
Oh, is that the mobile chair?
No, it's the chair they wear at commentary desk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Paul just grabbed the first chair he could get because Roman had a look and he was just standing there. And Paul was like, I think he wants a chair. Like, go get him a chair. And ran to get him a chair. That wasn't the real chair.
The most unnecessary thing on SmackDown was actually Corey Graves explaining a cage match to everyone. Why did I need this?
So you see, here's my thing about him explaining it. I didn't understand why he did that. But what triggered my mind for this one, if I do not get an explanation of the rules of the exploding death match beyond whatever Kenny drew on that napkin, then we not have a problem. So AEW must at minimum give me Justin Roberts in the ring talking about the death match.
Well, what Kenny did on a napkin was essentially Kevin McAllister's plan to save his house from home alone.
Well, no, but it's also exactly the same thing that Chris Jericho did last year when he had his mimosa match. Like, he drew, like, apparently the fact that this company can determine matches by drawing the matches on napkins drive me crazy. But we're not talking about AEW yet, goddammit. And stop trying to take me there.
You there.
But I just want to point out, I love the fact that Roman Reigns might be the most laziest champion in all wrestling because he does not want to work. He doesn't even want to stand up. He doesn't want to work.
Yeah, he hasn't got the world coming against him like The Miz did.
No.
Yeah, the Miz whole life fell apart in his face. And
I mean, Shane doesn't show up on SmackDown trying to make Roman Reigns work. Why would he show up on Raw trying to make The Miz work? The Miz gave...
He's the Braun Strowman on Raw.
Marcus, The Miz gave Bobby Lashley the match. The fact that Bobby Lashley couldn't catch The Miz before he ran out, that's Bobby Lashley's fault. Now, staying in the SmackDown realm, you brought up Seth, you brought up Cesaro. I want to bring up a moment that just made me laugh because we got Seth fighting Buddy Murphy. Buddy Murphy made a return without Aaliyah, a return without even mention of what happened, and then on top of that, he's trying to be the champion for Seth Rollins. Marcus, Buddy Murphy, he was here, now he's back down there. He got destroyed by Cesaro. Marcus, Buddy Murphy's was your best kept secret. What happened to your secret?
Basically, when I saw Buddy Murphy come up and talk to Seth, I heard him. He said, I can handle this for you. Basically, I heard this. I did it all for the nookie. Come on, the nookie. Come on. That's what he did it for. He smashed Aaliyah. He's done with her. And now he can go back to being Disciple. Okay? He's done. All right? Pussy done broke up millions of friendships, Eric. Don't let it end this one. That's pretty much what happened.
I don't know how you can follow that, Manny, but how can you follow? How do you follow that analysis?
I believe he was texting Seth quite all through the week for months, I would believe. Then Seth tried ringing him. Seth been ducking him. He's like, my God, I need some motherfucking work. Sitting on the sidelines for nothing.
Staying in SmackDown, talk about someone getting the job. Apollo got an accent, got a spear, but he also went down to NXT and called up Denzel DeJarnette because I would refer to him by his first name, not whatever new name that they gave him. Manny,
Troy.
The thing about this is that this might be one of the more intriguing stories, and I think we're going to get an Apollo Big E WrestleMania match because next week we get the medical update on Big E and his health and his situation, but now Apollo has a spear. Are you enjoying the progression of this feud between Apollo and Big E?
I am, but I don't feel, again, the accent is really necessary. Like, I feel he could get his point across with just his actual voice, which he switched to when he was talking as white kids again during the promo. It was just like, yeah, the accent and the spear probably not necessary. Like, I like he's paying attention to his heritage, but I have problems when people suddenly realize they're from a place and start acting like that.
But maybe it's a possibility that we're going with that route that he has split personalities. Like when he's Apollo, he's Apollo, but then now he's this prince that he has royalty that you know.
No, he's gonna be Prince Apollo from now on.
He was on talking smack, doing the accent, but going in and out of it. So he needs to stop. He just needs to stop. At least Reginald stays in his French accent and knows how to control himself.
Reginald's unemployed.
Mark, we're going to talk about Reginald, and Reginald is something that we're going to discuss, but I need you to discuss Apollo and the Big E matchup and Big E returning next week. To me, that is something that is very, makes SmackDown a must-see to see where they're going to go from this point on. Would you agree with that?
I want to say fuck Fastlane for getting in the way of everything. It's just in the way. Yes, these should be all WrestleMania matches, but Fastlane is just in the middle, muddling the stories. Because you're going to probably get Big E versus Apollo at Fastlane, but now you're going to get interference from the soldiers. But maybe it may involve the New Day coming up to help fight Apollo and his soldiers. I don't know.
But Marcus, let me ask you this.
I'm excited for the story because, you know, Apollo is claiming he is the only real African American in WWE, and Big E gonna have to step to him, and there's gonna be some real black shit going on in that ring.
However, Marcus, I think that we're both, you, Manny, and I are having a problem because we're overlooking something that is a very minute detail in this situation. It's the fact that Apollo has no leverage to ask for this match against Big E because
he still stands on him.
No, but technically Nakamura has gotten both wins, and he should be the one challenging Big E for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you feel bad that Nakamura is being pushed to the wayside because?
Yes, because Nakamura has an accent, and it's not a forced one.
He's not faking me. It's not all of a sudden Nakamura is coming out there going, "Hello, everybody. I'm Shinsuke Nakamura." From England.
So what you guys are saying that if Apollo dropped the accent, you'll be better off, correct? You need him to drop the accent.
No, it's the fact that when you look at numbers and stats, Nakamura should be the next challenger.
I would rather see Nakamura and Big E at WrestleMania and just be done with Apollo.
Really?
Yes. Imagine a real Nakamura match. Him going full stroke style on Big E at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. It would be a different type of match.
All right, so I think I want to jump back into NXT because I'm just jumping all over the place. The way Winning got counseling.
Hold on. You're just going to full on leave out the Finn Balor and Roderick Strong. Like, that wasn't on top of the list that we should start with.
Manny, I have my own.
Championship. That was championship.
Manny,
you said you were talking about championships, and you pushed it to the side.
Manny,
and also Eric. What about Sanjay?
I understand what you're saying, Manny, but I have to treat Roderick Strong like everybody else treats Roderick Strong. He has to be a backstory. Like the fact that Roderick is still trying to get an answer from Adam, where Adam is not going to tell him, to the fact that Finn interrupts. Like no one respects Roddy. Marcus doesn't even respect Roddy when he bought that shirt, and then even when he high-fived him. Roderick Strong does not have that respect.
I respect the Messiah of the backbreaker. I like me some Roderick Strong. He is just never a number one.
Yes,
he's
Marcus.
Number one anywhere.
Marcus.
He's a number 2 or 3.
No, Marcus. He's not even a number 2. Like, Roddy's like number 3, number 4. That's where he falls in. And he's a good number 3 and number 4.
He's a base man, as they always said.
But overall, okay, Manny. Yes, the match between the Prince and Roddy was a good match. What did you want to talk about that match? What about that match did you want to highlight?
Yeah, it was probably one of the best matches of the week, and the fact that you didn't give it any credit on your new call list.
I like to call it all over the place. It's pretty much what happens is what I remember. That's what I'm going to talk about next.
Oh, so
you
now
ignored. Now you treat Finn Balor and Roderick Strong like they didn't do anything this week.
Yeah, but I was gonna get there.
Wow.
I was gonna get there.
So, are we allowed to just jump in and say when we could talk about storylines?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
We can do whatever.
All right. So I'm going to 205 Live. Well, breaking news, guys. Mansoor is 41-0 officially. Officially, they announced it. He was 40-0, and Kurt Stallion said, "I'm gonna beat you and end your undefeated streak." Mansoor's like, "I'm gonna be 41-0," and he beat him. And Mansoor is now 41-0. As Big Joseph and Nigel McGuinness brought up, he is due for a title shot anytime now, but he's being ducked by both champions. Because he's so tough.
And so, Manny, you get mad at me for bringing up the Way having counseling, but this man is talking about Mansoor against Kurt Stallion, who you guys said
his favorite wrestler. That is his favorite wrestler.
I get Mansoor
with the majestical hair.
I get Mansoor might be his favorite wrestler.
It's the best streak in wrestling, 41-0 in any company. Not since Goldberg went 198 and
But Marcus, you are the man, Marcus, who I believe it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, who said, I don't need to see Kurt Stallion on my TV. I can't make any money with Kurt Stallion. Who cares about Kurt Stallion? So, Marcus, going into that match, it doesn't make a difference. You knew Mansoor was with it. But because you want to bring up Mansoor, feel free.
I didn't know Mansoor was winning.
So, since you brought up Mansoor, then I got to bring up my boy, Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes decided that he was going to try to get out this match with Bronson Reed by any hook or crook. The fact that this match was preceded by LA Knight cutting a promo that no one really needed LA Knight to cut a promo.
I needed that promo.
Then he cuts the promo and then later on assists Cameron Grimes in getting this win, which means that more than likely LA Knight's first feud to make him better is against Bronson Reed, which I think is an appropriate feud in the situation. But Cameron Grimes and all his money I don't know where we're going with him.
$1 million man.
I feel like it's going to be a match against him.
I need Ted.
Ted got to show up. And no, I'm disappointed about this match is that when Cameron Grimes was offering the money and there was money going everywhere, the referee wasn't picking it up as the match going along. No. I feel like that should have been happening. I feel like during the match, the referee should have just been like, oops, and stick his little bit here and there in his pocket. Also, there is a pettiness bug inside that NXT locker room, and it needs to be adjusted. As soon as you get there, you want to start some shit over the pettiest stuff. Bronson Reed, had no reason to come out after LA Knight's promo before he left the ring. Let me leave the ring. Okay, my name is LA Knight. Let me leave the ring. I just cut a fire promo because everybody knows that's all I'm good at. And let me leave the ring. But for him to come back and was like, that dude did cut me off. I'm going to cost him his match by doing some petty distraction of he dropped his hat, ref. He dropped the hat and threw that into the ring. There's something going on. There's something in the water over there.
You are right, Marcus. The petty, but let's go with all the pettiness that's going on in NXT. First, we have what has created one of the better segments on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, the picture-in-picture. When you talk about Swerve Scott and his super pettiness, I mean, I don't have...
Did you watch that?
I don't have the effect, but Marcus, this is the point where you can actually talk about Swerve Scott, and I can't stop you from talking about him. But Marcus, Swerve is in the studio with the black girl from NXT with the braids, and apparently he dropping fire.
Me and Manny have dubbed her Cameo because she only makes cameos once every 6 months in regular segments. But yes, I said everything there has to be to say. If you want to find out more about what I said about Sir Scott, go to the hour and 4 mark of the show, of the Untitled Media Market Show. Yes, because I was thinking about actually like clipping it at one point, but I got lazy.
Before we move on, speaking of the Untitled Mania Market Show from Thursday, if you actually read the description, you could have won money, but none of you did, so that's all on you.
So, Manny, I'm staying with the petty bug in this situation because we have another petty storyline going on. Caden Carter is upset with Xia Li for breaking the wrist of Casey Catanzaro, but at the end of the
she broke her leg too.
It don't matter. At the end of the day,
they have a leg cast.
At the end of the day, if the KC Express was not worried about what Xia Li was doing, this would have never been a problem. Am I right?
Mind your business.
They should have stayed out of triad business.
Mind your business.
And then the last pettiness is the counseling that Johnny Gargano paid the psychiatrist to try to fix Austin Theory. And I still don't know what was going on in that situation. All I know is that Dexter need to hit up Indy because Indy is jonesing for a little bit of Dexter Lumis.
A little thirsty is what the kids say these days, Eric. A little thirsty. But I'm going to say this. That wasn't the pettiest moment of the week. The pettiest moment goes to Legado del Fantasma destroying the entire tag division in NXT.
I just like that whenever I thought they were safe.
So I'm going to jump through multiple shows, NXT and 205 Live here. So Legado did the most hilarious attack ever against Breezango.
Because they were coming out as astronauts for no good reason, man.
They had an elaborate entrance that they were about to do and got their ass whooped in those helmets and looked like fools. Everrise broke the treaty with the Bollywood boys, Eric. This is a 205 Live storyline. They were Bolly Rise on 205 Live. They have formed an unholy alliance and a faction called Bolly Rise. And the Bollywood boys cut a promo on Everrise for going on NXT by themselves without telling them. And that's why they got their ass whooped.
Well, Mark, and there's one more thing that you...
Bolly Rise is done.
And Marcus, there's also one thing that they... Mark, the last thing I will talk about on NXT is when NXT decided to, I guess, tease people with a good time. It was the very first match of the night. It was Ciampa and Thatcher going against Lorcan and Burch. And then Imperium came out implying that they're trying to get Thatcher back into the fold. Betty, that smile is on your face. Why are you...
I've been asking for this for months. That Thatcher should be in Imperium. Get rid of Eichner. Get rid of Eichner. No one needs him.
Wow.
Hey, don't take his pocket money.
Man, Manny already has who he wants to get rid of. That's crazy.
But it's really nice that they're playing all these scenes because throughout the night, if you look at the far background of every single segment they had in the back, there was someone in Imperium talking to somebody. There were talks with Killian Dave. There was talks with Thatcher. They were doing work and recruiting. They are re-upping their game, all right? They are LeBron James after losing in the first round of the playoffs. They were recruiting and tampering.
But they're getting ready for war. They're getting ready for war.
And the last thing, because you know what? I have the petty bug in me also. Shotzi, you know what you did. And because you did it, we will not talk about you on this show. Let's move on to another show.
What did she do?
You know what she's doing.
What? She's still teaming with Ember.
Thank you, Marcus.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We thought something serious happened.
No, Maddie. Maddie, this is serious.
Yeah, because she's this finally for her. She's like, they've been using it for how many?
Because let me tell you. Because, you know, because I started off watching AEW this week, and it started off with Shaq. You know, that had me. But then, you know, the tag match was really good. But when you follow that up with Ember Moon versus Aaliyah, you can't keep my butt in the seat with that. You just can't. You just can't.
Okay. I was torn in this match on who to cheer for. I actually have said on numerous times how useless Aaliyah was, and then the hate runs deep for Ember Moon and her uselessness in this division. So but Ember weighed down. I was like, okay, let's go with Aaliyah, because the Robert Stone brand makes it okay.
You know, Manny,
Shotzi.
I was also cheering Aaliyah in this situation. And I said, Shotzi, what are you doing? Also, I want to give a shout out to Angelo Dawkins. You know what? That man put himself into some impeccable shape. And his drop kick was very nice this week.
Do this for him.
Huh?
Every 2 weeks you give a shout out to Angelo Dawkins.
Hey, man.
But you're right, Skippy, the shout outs. Shout out to Drew McIntyre and Sheamus for carrying the first hour of Raw.
Yeah, that was a great match.
They not only started with Drew declaring that he's going to become champion again, and he's going to have some petty business with Sheamus to take care of, and then they fight to the death, and then that got us through the entire first hour of Raw and led us into the first title match, which was brilliant. Marcus, it was like, it really helped that 3 hours go by.
I thought Sheamus was going to be paralyzed.
Marcus, I was going to point that out to you because actually, this is a rare thing for me to say. Monday Night Raw was my favorite show this week. I think that the timer between Lashley and The Miz throughout the show and the stuff that they had sprinkled in between, I really enjoyed. I thought Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, at any place, that could have easily been the main event at a WrestleMania. They damn near killed each other, and I thought Sheamus had re-injured his back where Drew was clearly too tired to do that throw that he tried to do, but they made it through. Then, you had other things. Even the 6-man tag that nobody wanted, with Matt Riddle teaming up with the Lucha House Party, like that against Retribution, and you're just like,
I blocked that out of my mind.
Yeah, I'm no longer supporting random Lucha House Party wins.
Yeah,
okay, they have way too many. They have way too many for neither one of them to never get a title shot anywhere. Again, Grand Metalik to be the #1 contender for the WWE Championship because he has that clean pinfall over The Miz. Okay, he should be the #1 contender. Bobby should have been in line behind Grand Metalik.
The thing that I probably disliked the most of it was the whole Braun Strowman angle with Shane and Adam Pearce going against the tag team champions and then stuff like that. Because, like, if they're teasing a Braun Strowman versus Shane match, I don't want that at all. I don't need it. We don't.
As much as I hated that segment, it wasn't my least favorite segment of the week. And my least favorite segment of the week on any show.
Oh, I already know. Is it Raw? Is it a Raw? Yes.
David Priest versus Elias Iron Man match.
I feel like that's still going on. It feels like it's still going on. And do you know what was bad about that? I was watching that at 2-speed, and even that still felt like it was long.
Like, the thing is, Sheamus and Drew just fought for like 30 minutes or whatever, and had an amazing match with probably the best finish of the year. Then we get Elias and Damian Priest, who probably go in half the time, but it felt like it was on -1 speed. Like, why am I getting this?
The one thing I was very disappointed about WWE in the direction of handling someone this week was Shayna Baszler. I felt that they really jeopardized the badass that she is. Like, I didn't like how she lost to Charlotte at the beginning of the week in that match that, I mean, Charlotte out there talking about she want to get gold. I mean, normally when someone does the damage that Shayna did to an individual like she did to Asuka, you would give them a little bit more momentum. But I guess they look at her as the tag champ for the women and went that way. I also enjoyed Mustafa.
Bianca too.
Huh? Yeah.
She lost Bianca Friday, but she wins when it counts. She won Wednesday.
But I would also talk about Mustafa Ali being so frustrated with Retribution week in and week out. And you just really have to say, look at yourself, man. You picked these people. This is the team that you decide to run with. Get rid of Mace, and you can make everything work.
Don't criticize his recruitment funds. Michael Jordan can't recruit players either, Eric. That's just the way it works.
Hey.
The great ones can never see because they expect you to be able to do the great things they can do.
Marcus?
It's like all you had to do was do a spin move reverse dunk on that guy and you would have had the points. But no, you can't do that, Mace.
Well, Marcus, the thing is, Michael Jordan finally figured out how to make a team. So, the Hornets. They're good, Marcus.
No one's good in the East.
Well,
it's
now.
Like, what, over 500? They're all trash. If the Knicks are good in the East, that means it's the worst Eastern Conference in the history.
Hey.
Hey, no, man, you quit them. You quit them at one point.
Manny was the reason why. Manny was the reason why they weren't winning because he was holding them back.
And by the way, I think Spike Lee is still banned from the arena for not being able to use his elevator. Whatever that is.
So we come to the time of the show at the 51-minute mark where it's now time to talk about AEW Dynamite.
AEW.
And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. I'm going to give AEW a compliment. This was the first show that I watched over NXT. Well, it's only on Wednesday. And at the end of the day, I thought they started off very well. I thought the tag match that probably should have been on Revolution was like, when I saw this match between Cody, Shaq, Jay, and Velvet, I was like, how are they going to follow this up? Overall, what I took away from the match is Shaq is a better wrestler than the women in the match. And that is really sad to me. And I was upset every time Shaq got tagged out the match because I want to see him and Cody going against each other more and more. And the fact that I never got Shaq versus The Big Show also makes me sick. Marcus, I turn to you. The opening match, what did you take away from it?
I thought it was a solid spectacle, but a terrible wrestling match. Like, absolutely bad. I mean, they had the shoot in which every time somebody did something, they cut away. Shaq was the only thing. He was the best wrestler in the match, and that's including Cody, because Cody can't sell for shit. Shaq does a mean-ass powerbomb. Cody just gets up. The guns are involved for racist reasons. That's the only thing I can justify.
It was uncalled for as well. It was like an unnecessary chair shot as well.
Yeah. They took forever setting up those tables for the ending, which I knew how the table was going. You knew how it was going to end. It was like Rep Jay couldn't set it up. Rep Velvet couldn't set it up. Shaq took the table bump fine, but overall it was entertaining. It was better than I thought it was going to be. But I have a problem with the placement of this match, and it shouldn't have been in the beginning of the show. It should have either put it in the middle or the end. Shaq drew 1.3 million viewers, Eric, to start this show. And then they just had to drop off after that.
What was the actual numbers for this show?
I think it was right.
They were under 1 million. They were like 9,000.
Yeah, they were 900,000 or something like that.
Which should be considered a disappointment. If they would have kept teasing Shaq throughout the show, then you probably could have kept that average of 1 million.
But the numbers don't lie, and we will talk about that afterwards. Manny, overall, how did you feel with the introduction of Shaq into the AEW wrestling ring?
It was good, but then he disappeared. The mystical powers. But we do need to ask this question because the other individual didn't do this week. But Marcus, how about that dive? because you then preference with that's how you do it.
I have no comment on the dive this week since they had a random ass match right after Shaq.
Well, no, because we're going to talk about that.
So random. That's the most random moment of the week. And by the way, I was really disappointed when Shaq was getting carted to the ambulance. The Good Brothers didn't jump in with him.
Marcus, you're correct. I think you hit the nail on the head. The placement of this match made absolutely no sense. I don't understand why this was what they started the show off with. This could have been the main event for the first hour, or it could have even closed out the show. I mean, I think there was a lot of people waiting to see Shaq. My biggest issue that I had with this match is that AEW didn't have anything ready to follow up after this spectacle. I'm sorry. Under no circumstances should the next match be Rey Fenix teaming with Pac going against people who we do not know. I think it was John Skyler and D3.
No.
With the two dudes. Two dudes. We named the tag team Two Dudes.
The two dudes. Like, if it wasn't the fact that Ember Moon was going against Aaliyah on NXT at the same time, there is nothing to say. Like,
no, Eric. What we got as a main event for AEW, that is not a main event. Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn versus Hangman Page and Johnny Hungy is not a main event match. You put the Shaq match at the end and you basically book it like you did Raw. You sprinkle in all this nonsense to get to the main event. That's what would have brought in the numbers for them, and that's what might have kept people around, like casual people of Shaq fans essentially, of to possibly stick around. But they didn't.
So, my thing...
My hand is raised, buddy.
Go ahead, Marcus. Your hand is raised.
My hand is raised. Okay? My hand is raised. I'm trying to be civil about this. My hand is raised, goddammit. Benny, I agree with you. And I want to also add on that they should have Shaq sprinkle in because, for God's sakes, man, you're selling this pay-per-view tomorrow. God forbid you sprinkle Shaq throughout the show and you sell people on Moxley and Omega in a goddamn bomb match.
The kids hollering in the back.
They upset too. So it's a goddamn having this Sunday. They should have been selling the hell out of that.
And they weren't even on TV.
They
on TV.
They should have been selling the Sting streak fight. They should have been selling everything, just selling and teasing it with Shaq. So the casual goes, I have to see what's going to happen this Sunday. Other than Shaq did this spot, I'm done with AEW for the rest of my life. The All-Star game is Sunday.
So, you know, the one thing that I always...
AEW's competing against the dunk contest, and they're insane.
The dunk contest is on a Sunday.
Yeah, everything's
going to be on one day.
Yeah, everything's on a Sunday. Marcus, so my biggest concern about this was the fact that...
Not a concern.
That the one thing that I can say that a lot of people who really enjoy AEW, the thing that they always say is that, hey, AEW is fresh and new and it's exciting and stuff like that. And they always knock WWE for doing the same thing over and over again. However, right after the match between the two dudes and Ray Phoenix and Pac, we had the we had the Inner Circle press conference. The press conference, which they've done once before.
They need to fucking stop these press conferences because they achieve nothing.
The fact
other than calling someone turkey tits.
Yeah, the fact that you have Dasha in the ring behind a podium, but then you have a podium outside and Dasha does absolutely nothing for the rest of the segment. And I don't know how this segment, except for seeing Eric Bischoff and these people show up again, it's a joke that they're doing to themselves that makes them. I didn't like it. I don't like the fact that Jericho and MJF are fighting for the tag team championship. And on top of that, they tell us that one of the Proud and Powerful came up with the idea of beating up Daddy Buck. Manny, this Papa press conference.
Buck. What do you call him? Daddy Buck?
Daddy Buck.
Anybody be calling him Papa Buck? You call him Daddy Buck. You don't give a fuck.
I'm my own man. I call what the fuck I want to call him.
Come on, Daddy Buck.
I'm done with this, and I just can't buy any time the Young Bucks and Matt Jackson in particular try to act like they're tough because if I see them coming, all I need is a pole and they're done.
Manny, all I need is Jack Johnson and Peter O'Leary. All right, that's all I need. You win some, you lose some, but you live. You
no, Marcus. I'm taking the kneecap. They're never doing super kicks again.
I mean, that's their only weapon that they have. If you have no knees, you can't dive and you can't super kick. Okay. I mean, and the press conference ended in a brawl. Go ahead, Marcus.
I have a question. So the Bucks come out there and they're talking about they were raised well by their daddy and all that, and Papa Buck this and Papa Buck that. But if I am their father, and I brought this up on the Thursday show and whatnot, how are you reacting when you see Jericho and the first time you said, are you going to have a conversation with them? Or is it beat down on sight? I feel like it should have been beat down on sight. I don't give a damn about how your daddy raised you. I bludgeoned him on your truck.
So what you're saying is that the reaction didn't warrant what they did to their daddy. It should have been a hardcore. It should just been you're right, Margaret. Beat down on sight. You're right.
Marcus went as far as to say he was going to set the ring on fire. Thursday.
The ring goes on fire.
Marcus, you might as well get some of those explosives that they have left over from the death match, and you blow them some bitches up.
Yeah, and then my main problem with this segment, Good Brothers again. They go out there and help. They do the table spot. Nick Jackson busts his head open with his bad hairline that MJF had to point out, which made me laugh. The Good Brothers going out there and helping them put to the table. Then in the next package, they show the Good Brothers attacking Jon Moxley. You can't have characters that inconsistent.
I mean,
in one segment they're heels, in the next they're faces.
I mean, the thing about it, I'm pretty sure how Jericho loses this match is that MJF is going to turn on him because they're going to go back to where MJF had the conversation with everybody else in the Inner Circle. I mean, and then there's probably going to be a feud between Jericho and MJF going forward. I mean, because I don't think they're going to take the titles off of the Young Bucks. I don't want anything to do with any of this, but the one thing that I can say that brought me back into AEW that I enjoyed, and the only reason why I enjoyed it is because it had a nostalgia factor, and I do like me some Tully Blanchard. He's the only Blanchard that I like. It was Tully Blanchard teaming with FTR going against the Jurassic Express. This match was fun, and that's what I need AEW to embrace more. It had no
60, 70-year-old men.
No, but it had no frills. It had no stupid stipulations about this person will be in a ladder match at the Revolution. It was just a clean-cut match of people who don't like each other. FTR caught the horns off the bull, and now they fighting. Go ahead, Manny.
So you're fully signing off of the Sean Spears being the Masked Man again. Then
I'm okay with that. I am perfectly fine. I am perfectly fine because it fits the recipe of that quartet of men. Tully Blanchard seemed like he would have men. Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, and now Sean Spears. They seem like cats that Tully would run with.
They could have had Hangman before Hangman was fucking around with the Dark Order.
Manny, I have my place when we start talking about Revolution. I have a place where I don't understand what they're doing with the Hangman. He was supposed to be one of the stars of the company, but he's booked like a joke. Marcus, it looks like you have something that's about to be said.
Yes, fuck Sean Spears, and that I will book Peyton Royce over him any day of the week. And he came back with the blonde mohawk. This is like his 15th different look since joining the company, and it's just not going to work for you, pal. He looks like, I don't know if you guys remember Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but he looked like the villain from Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the very end, where he's just like, kill you with the tunes. He's a piece of shit. There's nothing in Sean Spears. Everybody has seen it. He's done. And he doesn't need to be associated with this new Four Horsemen. And by the way, as we talk about the Four Horsemen, it just reminded me, fuck R. Anderson for coming out at the end, because him and Tully have had bad blood since they started AEW. You can't support it because you see JJ Dillon and realize you're not with the cool kids anymore. You're with the Gun Club and Cody.
But Marcus, my biggest issue is that you're with the Nightmare Family, Arn. You shouldn't be worried about what's going on. Like, it took a lot of energy for your ass to walk out and throw up four figures. Like, I didn't need that. Like, who said that we needed his stamp of approval to make it? like no one needed Arn to go out to say, yeah, that's it. That's where it's at.
Arn didn't make the Four Horsemen. Everyone, you immediately think Rick.
and then you would think his second in charge was Tully, because guess what?
No, Arn is always
Arn will be second.
Arn's the enforcer.
He's the enforcer, but Tully was also, when it came time to making game time decisions and planning on some treacherous shit, if Rick was fucking a woman, Tully probably made that decision, because he's treacherous.
Who's Roderick Strong? Who's Roderick Strong in the Four Horsemen?
He's Arn Anderson.
I don't know. I might have to give it.
I wouldn't ever call Roderick Strong the enforcer.
Come on, but they're all little men, so you can't really say that anybody's the enforcer. Would you give it to Kyle O'Reilly?
No, Kyle O'Reilly is a Tully.
Yes. So Bobby Fish, who's never there? I'm sorry.
Bobby Fish could be on Anderson.
He's like only a Barry Windham.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't show up.
Anybody at that point.
I mean, when you really think about how Roderick Strong got into the Undisputed Era, it was because Bobby Fish went missing again. It's just.
Wait. Could we say Roderick Strong's the Lex Luger when he joined the Force?
No, because I like Roderick Strong and I don't like Lex Luger, and I would not disrespect Roderick Strong that way.
Give me Dean Malenko. How
okay,
about that?
I'm okay with that.
How about that? Okay, let's all walk away peacefully here.
No, because we can't walk away peacefully, because just like I said with AEW, they do something that I'm enthralled with, and then they do some stupid shit in between. And guess what? We have more stupid shit in between afterwards. Is the Big Show, or I'm sorry, No More BS comes out with his shirt, which I give them a clever shirt. But the things that he's talking about, and then AEW with this whole scoop of we're signing somebody who may be a Hall of Famer, like stuff like that. That is two. I'm pretty sure one of those people is going to be Miss Trinidad, aka, because she apparently went to the company but never showed up. But if she shows up, people would enjoy that. And after that, if it's Brock Lesnar, so be it. I just don't care. Stop trying to tell me you're signing people and make better storylines for me to be entertained. I don't care about your marks that are entertained. I want to be entertained. You need to write a show for Eric. Let me be happy. Marcus.
No, they need to start focusing on the talent they have rather than bringing in new people, because there's so many people on there. Like there's this trope of it's mostly AEW fans sometimes when they talk about people that are not being used in WWE, and then they should have more. They should be used more a lot of the time. There's so many people on the AEW roster that don't even get a glimpse on Dynamite because they're always on Dark and stuff like that.
Hold on, Manny. Are you talking about someone like Scorpio Sky?
Yes,
He made it on Dynamite this week. He made it on Dynamite this week. Maybe he shouldn't be on Dynamite this week. Maybe they are right. Okay?
Hey, someone who they signed finally stepped up and became a man, and I heard that you guys didn't talk about him on Thursday, and that was Miro. He greased up his chest, and he started talking like a real man right then and there, talking about people wanted
Snoop Dogg was saying, as Snoop Dogg was saying that gift. Who?
Yeah, as people said, people want the old Miro back. He said he was going to bring him back. I don't know if he's going to really do it, but whatever. So,
he still said game over.
So, Marcus, we got
game over.
Marcus, we got to your favorite conclusion of the Eliminator tournament. Tournament for the first time that had Eliminator in the word. It was Rio Misanami going against Nyla Rose with Vicky Guerrero. Marcus, Rio won. Don't know who this lady is. And then afterwards, Sheeta, who, and you know what? I'm going to get some hate when Sheeta looked like she was playing dress up, like she got into her mom's makeup kit and says, I'm going to put on some heels and put on some makeup. It was just not a good look for me.
That is being mean.
She looked like, no.
She looked fine. She looked okay. She had heels on.
She looked like one of the bosses in Yakuza.
Yeah,
when you play that game.
I'm just saying, I didn't like the look that she had for her. And then next thing you know, she get to the ring with the heels and they start throwing punches. And then I just died laughing because Rio throws a punch. But clearly that punch didn't have enough of it because it was enough time for Sheeta to unbutton her business coat. She was fighting on heels, man. Marcus, go ahead. Talk about this conclusion of the Eliminator tournament. Was it worth the time that was invested?
No. All the best wrestlers were eliminated off camera. Like, I don't know what happened to Thunder Rosa.
Okay. I don't know what happened. I don't even know what happened to the other Rio.
I'm assuming that all happened Sunday. I don't know how we come to this conclusion of Rio Mizusaki versus Nyla Rose. And why the fuck is Nyla Rose always the final boss? And how many times have we got to beat a Japanese wrestler has to beat Nyla Rose? She's lost to every Japanese wrestler there is. Whether it's Riho, Sheeta, and Rio, who's over there playing, doing a goddamn mind gimmick and then, chopping people. I don't understand how they decide who wins. Kenny Omega needs to be pulled for the women's division because he clearly has an obsession with Japanese women wrestlers because they always go over all the better wrestlers in the world. So either Deep should have been in the finals, Thunder Rosa should have been in the finals. He got a lot to say on this one. Baker should have been in the finals, Nyla Rose should have been in the finals, and hell, I'm even going to say Ty Conti, even though I don't even know what the hell she could have did in this tournament.
Take a break, Marcus. Man, you seem like you want to say something.
But you know the difficult thing about this when they book all these Japanese wrestlers for AEW is they either got to do them off-site like they did the tournament and have it shot in Japan. If they come over, they've got to have 2 weeks. I'm presuming it's still 2 weeks quarantine before they can enter the country. They're putting themselves in unnecessary difficult booking situations. They should focus again on what they have and make them better.
And the thing about it is that they're trying to say that Sheeta and this lady, Miss Anami, have history. They have history with each other. And I'm like, I'm great that they have. It
like it was a local family dispute.
No, but it feels that way, Marcus, because Marcus, let me make my point, because like they're trying to bring up this feud between her and this other lady from Japan. At the same time, when's the last time Sheeta actually defended the women's title ever? Like
Abaddon.
Instead of bringing feuds.
When was that?
I'm just saying, instead of bringing feuds, and this is where AEW, to me, is really failing, is that they keep bringing outside feuds in instead of making feuds within their own division. I'm pretty sure there was a multitude of women that Sheeta could be in a feud with to make this instead of going the whole route of a tournament. Isn't that what the whole ranking system is about, that you have people in the rankings to fight Sheeta? I think you could probably had Sheeta versus Britt Baker, and it would have been a solid match for a Revolution show because you're using your own talent. And I think that's the problem that I have, is that, once again, AEW is focusing on so many other individuals' talent that they're not focusing on their own, yet they keep signing people. Now we're going back to their own talent.
But, the main problem with the AEW women, they just need mic time. Like, just give me some promos or something from somebody, and why this isn't special for anybody. It's just like they throw them out there in their one segment a week, and I'm supposed to care. I don't care. I don't.
All right, Marks, but I have to ask you this question. Since you're not caring about these women, are you caring about what's going on with Sting, Darby Allin, and Team Taz? Because, I mean, this was a promo that turned into a brawl that, I mean, I guess it's supposed to get us ready for Revolution, Marcus. Are you ready for this street fight?
Eric, we have got this segment. Sting has been here. I believe Manny looked up December 2nd or 3rd or something like that. And we have gotten this same segment 120 times already. Sting walks out to talk to Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone yells, "It's Sting," which is more annoying than anything time Michael Cole says the big dog, or when
it's boss time.
Still saying it's Sting is more annoying than that at this point. Oh, he comes up for an interview. He says about 1 or 2 words. Here comes Team Taz. This time Ricky Starks, who goes out there and slaps the taste out of Sting's mouth. And then Sting beats the brakes off your young future talent. Then the next future talent, Will Hobbs, is stupid and is reaching for Ricky Starks' hands to save him instead of just punching Sting in the back of his head. And they just look weak and pathetic. I think Hook got a choke in there, and his name is Hook, for God's sakes. Oh, it's just trash. I hate it. I hate everything about it. I'm just so sick of Sting. Darby Allin never defends his title. I never want to hear about someone on WWE not defending their title when Darby Allin only defended his title once, and it was just Joey fucking Janela. Don't want to hear about it.
Manny Marcus is talking, because I have more things to say when we start talking about Revolution. Your this whole thing with Sting and them,
it needs to end, Eric. It needs to end. He needs to go into retirement. He needs to stop, because nothing he can do for AEW is interesting on camera. He needs to remain off camera.
You know, and arguably with you guys, I would like to agree with you guys that this was the worst segment of AEW, but it wasn't. For me, it had to be, first of all, I hate the Revolution ladder match thing that they're doing at the show. I'm tired of all these battle royals and stuff like that. But this qualifying match just made absolutely no sense to me. On top of that, it had so many moving parts in there. You had Max Caster, who's one half of the Acclaim, who they're having a tag team casino battle royal. So why is he trying to be in this individual title match? I don't know. He's going against 10. Next thing you know, you have Jack Evans come from under the ring that helps Matt Caster get this win. Then you have Scorpio Sky talking about he's pretty on commentating. And then to make matters worse, you have Matt Hardy come out and give an envelope that is wrote $4,200 on the envelope.
Well, Eric, the only thing that actually made sense was Jack Evans and Matt Hardy. and that is the worst thing about it, is that's the only thing that made sense, because last week on AEW, Matt Hardy stated he's going to destroy everyone in the Dark Order. So that's where you got, I think, number 5 thrown through the table off the stage. So, and then obviously he paid off Jack Evans to take out 10. That's the only thing that made sense to this. And the rest just doesn't make sense. And the kid needs to stay home. That fucking -1 needs to stay home.
Manny, I told Marcus in a phone conversation, I said, I'm giving him 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. If that damn kid show, I'm just gonna become an asshole. I'm just gonna become an asshole. Because
damn it.
I'm sorry. The Dark Order is already a joke, but this is it's even worse because you're booking them as a joke, but then you're trying to make them be serious also, and you can't have it both ways. You just can't have it both ways. And then on top of this, let's just talk about Matt Hardy and his paying off people. Clearly, Matt doesn't have enough money, and I'm not going to say I have experience with paying off people or not, but I know for a fact I do not write on top of my envelope where I have to pay your money out what the amount is in the envelope. No one needs to know how much I'm giving you, because you know why? Because it ruins negotiations when you try to hire another hitman or another henchman, because you know how much the other henchman got. And if you know that henchman is getting $4,200, you know your talents deserve at least $5,500. It's the first rules of negotiation of buying henchmen that you don't let people know.
Why do you get a $1,500 increase? What do you do?
Marcus, you have to understand when you have a body count, it's not everybody gets paid the same way. Just for what if you want to go?
Hold on, wait. What's your body count that yours is $1,500 more?
Yeah. Jack Evans.
Like I said, I'm not here.
Black man charging me $1,500 more. You better provide me with some real quality. I better be able to keep their soul in a jar after I'm done with the shit.
I'm not here to talk about how much. But Marcus, let's play a game, gentlemen. Let's play a game because it just popped up. How much is a henchman worth? So I'm gonna give you a henchman, and you give me how much money you would pay him to achieve your bounty.
Due to time constraints and I gotta go to work tonight, I don't think I have time for this.
Okay. But we might save it for another time. But
I got $50 though. I can get a crackhead to attack anybody for $50.
So the main
and that's a crackhead. They come with diseases.
So main event, Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn going against the Dark Order with Adam Page, John Silver. 3 weeks ago, we had the Dark Order propose to Adam Page. He told them no. Yet he's still teaming with them. And this is like the worst conclusion to a main event of any show ever. Because no one is invested. Look at Manny, eyes are down because he's trying to figure out what his worth is if he was going to do a bounty for somebody, if Matt Hardy would give him an envelope, how much would he charge? This main event sucked. It sucked.
Can we move on?
We're going to move on because now it's time.
On AEW.
Well, because I'm closing the show because we're going to end with Revolution. And the Explode, Marcus, I need you guys picks. So I'm going to put this on the screen right now. This is the diagram of the barbed wire match that Kenny Omega drew up. Marcus,
that's something.
3 sides will be covered in barbed wire. Each rig to explosive. If they hit it, it's going to blow up. Whatnot. Marcus, who do you have in this match? Kenny Omega or Jon Moxley walking away?
I got Kenny with the help of the Bullet Club, who probably should have helped earlier in the match, but they decided to come out at the end. But everything will explode.
Manny, who do you got?
I've got Kenny. I'm presuming whoever they've signed is going to help Kenny win.
I have Kenny for the simple reason I think Renee is close to giving birth to their baby, so he needs to be at home helping Renee out with the baby. So I'm taking Kenny Omega in a match that technically, if you watch the run-in review show, you'll find out how I feel about that match. So make sure you tune that into that. The Tag Team Championship, the Young Bucks versus Jericho and MJF. Who do you got, Manny?
The Young Bucks. Why is this happening?
Just wait, man. It gets even better. Marcus, who you got?
I got the Young Bucks with the help of Sammy Guevara.
I got the help of Papa Buck.
I have the Young Bucks winning with the help of Daddy Buck and MJF turning on the Inner Circle. Yes, I'm sticking with Daddy Buck, damn it. Then we have the Tag Team Casino Battle Royal.
You being raped by Daddy Buck.
The Tag Team Casino Battle Royal. I don't think we need to touch
you. It was Daddy Buck.
So I'm gonna skip the Tag Team Casino Battle Royal because it probably
is one in 3 counties. Sounds like a registered sex offender.
So we have the street fight: Sting and Darby going against Team Taz. Who you got, Marcus?
Sting and Darby. Team Taz ain't look good this whole thing. Why would they win?
Manny, who do you have?
Sting and Darby. But I just want to preference, Levi, if you're listening, you're honestly going to pay for this over WrestleMania? Because this sounds ridiculous.
For me, I look at this match, and honestly, I hope Team Taz win because I don't need Sting to be on my television. But I think that Darby Allin is arguably one of the few stars that AEW actually has. And for him to be continue putting these type of matches where you probably could have a more meaningful match if you had Darby Allin versus an Adam Page, or even remember when Orange Cassidy was a thing where he was the highest thing in AEW, but now he's ridiculed to a match where he's teaming with Chuck Taylor to fight Miro and Kip. Like that's what I gotta look forward to, a Dynamite match for your pay for show. But I continue. The Revolution ladder match. The winner gets a shot at the TNT Championship. All right, silence. Moving on. Hikaru Shida versus Ryu Mizunami.
Oh, we just going. What are we supposed to react? I don't know. They do these shits every single show, and Okay, the mystery guy in the ladder match, I don't, whoever.
Who do you got, Marcus? Shida versus Misanami. Who you gonna got to win?
You swear to God, Shida gonna lose this Rio Masasaki. You swear to God, Shida gonna spend her whole life, and finally she gonna lose to somebody that's been on TV 1 week. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, that bullshit.
But she won a tournament.
Shida better not lose. I'll tell you that. That's for danger. I'd ride to Florida for that.
Manny, who you got, Shida or Mizunami?
I've got Shida, but if Shida does lose, Marcus, I'm riding shotgun.
Gentlemen, if Shida does lose,
I'll fly to London. Pick up Manny. Take another flight back to America so we can make a road trip to Florida.
Gentlemen, if Shida loses, I will take some of my bounty earnings and I will fly and pick both of you guys up and we would go to Florida and we would do some damage.
Hold on. It would be me, you, Manny, and Nia Jax.
Yeah, and what Manny's gonna do, Manny's gonna get that new strand of that COVID-19, put that shit in a plastic bag, and we're gonna put it off in the AEW locker room. That's what we gonna do.
The Brazilian variant.
Yes, goddamn right. We're taking it to a whole other level.
By the way, we failed to mention Tamina and Natty demanding a title match. By the way,
hey, Tamina with the new braids. And for any record, we are kidding. We are not terrorists. We will not try to use a COVID virus to take out these people. Last match, Marcus, Matt Hardy versus Adam Page for the money
match.
The big money match.
The way they booked Dynamite this week, this is gonna be the match that closes the fucking pay-per-view. Like that's the way they booked Dynamite this
so
week.
what you're gonna say? We're gonna have the explosive death match, and then after that match, here come Matt Hardy. Hey, when you see Kenny,
match is gonna open the show the way they booked it.
When you see Kenny Omega says, "Follow that shit right there," and Matt's like, "I will," because I'm Matt Hardy.
Yeah, but we blew up the ring, guys. We blew up the ring. I don't know how we're gonna follow that shit logistically. I don't know what we're gonna do.
All right, do you guys have any guesses into who the two people will be that will debut?
I have 5 guesses, but some of them is shot down already.
Give me your 2 guesses, Marcus. Give me your 2 best guesses.
Because they say it's going to be a man baby, it's no longer Selena Vega or Tia Trinidad, but I still think she should show up on the show or on the Dynamite. Ahmed Johnson.
Manny, who do you got?
Well,
it's the one big show.
The one the Big Show announced, I believe it's going to probably be Mauro and Brunello. And then, obviously, the one Tony Khan announced, probably someone like, I don't know, Kurt Angle or someone.
Wait, so you saying an announcer? Mauro?
Well, they said someone Hall of Fame worthy. They didn't say what Hall of Fame. They didn't say anything like that. I think they've signed Mauro for commentary.
Manny, let me ask you this question, because you have been a huge critic of Mauro Ranallo, and you can admit that, and I agree with you, ever since Mauro left NXT, I find NXT more enjoyable for me personally. Do you think that he can bring a level of excitement to AEW that he couldn't to NXT?
Well, yeah, because he's obviously going to pop all the idiots that love that kind of shit. Oh my God! Insert pop culture references.
Angry tweets.
Well, Marcus, you were a Mauro supporter.
I'm just playing. I love Mauro. I love him. It'd be a good get, but I feel like the way they set this up, no matter who they bring out, is going to be a disappointment minus a CM Punk, Brock Lesnar level of a talent. Marcus, or John Cena.
Marcus, you are wrong. Because the one thing I've learned about AEW fans, it don't matter what they do. They can go on air and open up a can of soda. And guess what? That's the next best thing. So they could walk out there with somebody and just like they will say with us, no matter what they do, we will hate on them. It's just one of those things. But we do have 2 emails because I know Marcus needs to get off and go to bed. And I have to go buy a stroller in a car seat.
What?
Eric got a baby.
Eric got somebody pregnant?
Nah, Marcus.
Your long-lost child, you were just chilling in the Princess Zamunda, and then you just got a baby out of nowhere?
Don't compare me to Coming to America Part 2, baby. Don't do that. So Chris sends in his first email. He says, update, his dad is out of the hospital. back to being mostly normal. So he'll be back a part of the Sharpie Nation really soon. New rents coming, new enemies coming, newfound respect coming, new praise coming. And then
new enemies don't have to come.
And then
no, it's Chris. There's always going to be new enemies.
Then Chris, shortly after he sent that email, he sent another email. He says, "It feels like an eternity since I've been part of this show. How in the blue hell is everyone? Ah, man, hibernation is vastly underrated. If I could do like the Bears, I would. Recently left my house after being locked in for seemingly months. And oh boy, was that a mistake. Standing outside of a restaurant playing Pokemon Go when this old head walks by me and says hello. I respond in kind after catching a shiny muck. Hey, Chris, if you're hearing this, let me get your friend code so we can be friends on Pokemon Go. Anyway, I start walking.
Still play that?
Huh? Don't worry about it, Manny. I start walking down a couple of blocks when I notice.
Still play it.
I walk down a couple of blocks when I notice the old dude is following me. I stop in front of an AT&T store and he stops too. Here's where I wonder, should I take my box cutter out of my bag to stab a bitch?
God damn, that escalated quickly.
All of a sudden, this dude just breaks out into various Jimi Hendrix songs. After his mini concert, he tells me that if I ever need any home improvement work done, I should call his friend Calvin. Okay, number one, the only Calvin I remember is from those old McDonald's commercials. Two, you're creeping me the hell out. Then he tells me that he may go back to college from the recommendation of his girlfriend and his mom. His girlfriend thinks he should become a lawyer because he can learn how from watching shows on TV. But his mom thinks he should be a cop. He didn't want to be a cop because there's too much that could go wrong.
Why do I have to hear this story?
Now, mind you, this dude has to be at least 70.
No, I got to suffer this story.
He has to be at least 70 if it was his date. And to close out, this dude, he informs me that he's a ghostwriter. He told me his stage name, but I can't remember it. Yeah, I'm too old for this shit. There's more stories I want to share, but they will be saved for another time next week. How have I not caught a case from dealing with roommates? Have we ever established where Chris lives at?
It's Baltimore, isn't it?
Oh, is it Baltimore? Yeah, it is Baltimore. I don't understand how Chris has such a hard time in Baltimore with all these weirdos, but yet Wes, Disman, and everybody else don't. It might be the common denominator. It might be Chris. It could be.
Shout out to Wes if you're still alive. Can you please shoot us an email or something, please?
He's working, man. He's working.
Got me working day and night.
Anyway, since Marcus does have to work today, I think that we have done about an hour and 30 minutes worth of podcasting. I actually like the overall free-form conversation that we did at the show. It kind of made me feel like First Take, and I was Charlie Caruso, you know.
No, it's pretty. It's Charlie Caruso.
I know I'm not. But
how dare you?
What, Marcus? How dare I what?
I feel like saying that.
And
you can't compare yourself to Charlie Caruso.
And you're not even close to Pretty Deadly.
Yeah. The prettiest tag team you've ever seen in your life.
Man, them dudes, I'm telling you, they look like fucking elves, man. They're fucking elves.
I'm not about to say them dudes will get it.
Nah, I'm not going to say that.
Them dudes will get it.
It's just, it's you know, like with men, you have handsomeness and then you have prettiness. They're the pretty side, and you want to beat them up because they're too pretty. Chris Pretty wish he was that pretty. With that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Weird way to end the show.
Hey, it's better than the way Dynamite ended. What can I say? You guys can always email us at thesharpshooters@gmail.com.
Oh, wait. Before we end, we got to revive the hashtag, Marcus. She hasn't been on the show for 2 weeks. Hashtag Billy Kay deserves better.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell's going on SmackDown?
Marcus, I have a question for you, Marcus, and this might be something that can really ruin your relationship with your co-host. Which hashtag means more to you? Hashtag All Dives Matter or hashtag Billy Kay deserves better?
Billy Kay deserves better, man. I don't care about them dives.
Why are you trying to drive wedges?
Yeah.
I'm a wedge driver, man. That's what I do.
I don't know why. If you're going to bring wedges, man, they better be potato wedges. We eat that shit.
Or cheese wedge.
Well, I'll make sure. Yeah. I'll make sure that we'll have potato wedges when I go and pick up Manny and Nia Jax, and we head down to Jacksonville to kick doors open.
defend the honor of Sheeta. I don't even care about Sheeta, but I just feel like that would be horrible.
Marcus,
do you want to think would be? We'd be in the car and then we'd all stop when we got to the location. He's like, "Naya, do your thing."
The greatest thing, we're pulling up in that FTR truck too. We're pulling up into that FTR truck, and the greatest thing.
Oh, go ahead.
The greatest thing was, I totally forgot why we were going to all ride up with Nia Jax to go to AEW until you reminded me it was because if Sheeta loses.
Yeah,
that's how invested.
We're gonna have Reginald with us too. Because they seem like they're gonna be a thing. Reginald gonna be with us too.
Hey man.
So who's driving? Because that's a DUI waiting to happen. He is a sommelier after all.
It ain't me.
He is a sommelier after all.
Don't worry, guys. I'll use some of my bounty money and we can have us a driver. We'll find us a good driver to go.
What car are we using? What car are we using for this?
A smart Bob Holly?
No.
The NASCAR driver.
You know what?
They're quick.
It was a good week for black people, except for poor Reginald, who looked like he got fired. I don't know where Reginald's career is going to go from here if he's not on TV.
School of Thatcher, looking like a bitch again.
By the way, what kind of cheap-ass champagne bottle was that? I just slapped it. That shit shattered in this piece. That shit was dangerous.
Well, he deserved everything that happened to him on SmackDown.
He did.
He played himself.
He did. He played himself, man. He thought Sasha liked him, but Sasha told him on numerous occasions he didn't. She didn't. But at the same time, the romance between him and Nia Jax could be the wedge that throws it in between, her and Shayna. I don't know.
One, two things about this segment. One, Bianca telling Sasha, you better handle this. This is your fault. He almost cost me this match. I'm on the road to WrestleMania. You better handle your boy. Handle this. It's your fault. And she beat Slapple. And second, Sasha Banks decided to dress up as Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's the only thing I thought of that outfit. I was like, she dressed up as Brutus the Barber Beefcake. She messed up with going like this.
What about I forgot Ding Dong Hello. Bailey got that that one comment that made her shut her whole segment down.
Talking smack. She revealed what it said.
Oh.
It said she sucks as a host and she's a horrible person.
I like the pre-tape Ding Dong instead of having it in the live ring. I think it works better. But that's just me.
But she didn't have a guess.
And shout out to Bailey with glasses.
The Ding Dong Hello segment where we opened the show on Thursday was a smooth thing that just happened.
Bailey is slowly, she's moving up that list. Just moving up that list. With that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I'm Eric.
I'm the foreign object, Lord Manny Hayes.
Marcus, so I didn't know you worked with a foreign object. And I think it made the grand finale actually finale out. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
It's the grand finale.
And to next week, stay sharp and stay away from foreign objects. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, God.